Building a successful database requires careful planning before you start creating tables and relationships. It's important to know what kind of information you want to keep track of and how the relationships should look before you even make your first table. That's because making structural changes to an already built database is much more difficult than building it right the first time. In this video, we're going to plan the basic structure for a database that will be used by a local restaurant. A helpful way to conceptualize a database is to divide it into 3 parts: resources, events, and agents. For a business database like this one, resources are the goods and services provided. For our restaurant, our products are the most important resource. Agents, simply put, are people. They're the ones who will produce or consume resources. Our restaurant has 2 main agents: customers and employees. Events are the way that agents and resources interact with each other. In a restaurant, an event occurs when a customer orders a product from an employee. One of the benefits of finding our resources, events, and agents is that it makes it easy to know what tables to create. In this database, products, orders, customers, and employees should all have their own tables. The next step in planning our database is to decide what fields should go into each table. Let's start by adding the field that all of these tables will need to relate to each other, the primary key. Next, we'll make fields for storing information. When creating fields, it's best to break your data down into the smallest chunks you can. Instead of making a field for names, make a field for first names and one for last names. This makes it easier to get data out of your database later. In our product table, we'll obviously want a field to keep track of our products. We also want a field that says what kind of product it is, whether it's a burger, side, or drink. Finally, we want a field that stores the price of each product. We'll do the same thing with our tables in the Agents column, adding fields to store our customer and employee names. We could also add fields for other information, such as our employees' addresses. We'll just put the word address here, but in a real database, you'd want to make separate fields for street and number, city, state, and zip code. Last of all, let's add the fields for our orders table. This is the most important table in the database, and it's a little different from the others. Instead of having its own information, we want this table to combine information from the other tables. We do this by adding foreign key fields. These make it possible to bring information from the other tables together. We can also add new fields to this table. For example, let's add a field to record the date of each order. Planning your tables and relationships beforehand will save you time and prevent frustration as you build your database. It's also a good way to examine what you need your database to do and how you can structure it to meet those needs.